Check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. You know what it is. Actually, it's a special day. Special day. A lot of things been dealing with. I'm gonna have to make sure I center myself and all that kind of stuff. But first things first. First things first. My people come first. My people, those that are here and no longer here, always thought of and remembered. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV, the newest episode. It's been a minute. But Why Always Me is back. Listen, I've heard all the feedback. They're like, Vader, what's with the time? How you not scheduling to be able to do a couple more shows? And I'm like, I hear it. Obviously, life, family, work. You know how it is. But I'm here, and I want to shout out the very first person that took their time to say, you know what, Vader, I mess with you. I like your channel. Obviously, I'm subscribed because I get the notifications. I know when you're live, I can drop a comment even before the show goes live. And today, the support today, very first in the building, comes from Godfrey. He goes, big up Vader 100. 100 in the building. Thank you, Godfrey. He goes, smash the likes on your way in and subscribe to the channel. Road to 1K. Road to 1K. We're doing it. And I know I need to be a lot more. Let me take that back. I need to be a lot more consistent. I need to at least be dropping 2 shows a week at least, right? So here's my attempt. And here's my talking out loud schedule. Tuesdays, I either do 115 or Why Always Me. Thursdays, which the feedback's been tremendous. Thank you all so very much. Thursdays, CIA Intelligent Agendas. And then, do I go back to back? Maybe do another show on Fridays? I think that might have to be the move. I think I might have to do that. So I go Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. That might be the schedule moving forward. Weekends are extremely difficult. Wife, 2 kids. Yeah, the timing, you know what it is. The girl RK in the building. She's applauding. She goes, did you watch Pep's presser? Loved it. What do I think of it? Listen, the presser, I did catch it. And it speaks to how much he cares. It speaks to how much he's a blue, to be honest with you. I know rivals want to take their shots. You know, the rivals want to talk about, oh, he's only gone to situations or only gone to clubs that have been good for his career. He's made this place a home. Pep has made this place a home, and this is his 9th year. Longer stint at any club that he's ever done. In a managerial role, obviously, and he committed not a 1+1 like everybody were kind of rumored and talking about, but a 2 years. He's going to be here for 11. I absolutely love the presser, and I actually want to break that down more so with, on a from a panel standpoint, especially after the result of tonight. But good looking out, the girl RK. Hassan says Brampton in the Brampton in the building. You know what it is. Listen, I'm trying on this channel. I'm gonna try to link up, right? I'm gonna try to link up most of those that are kind of like in the GTA to possibly catch a game at our local Manchester City supporters bar, which you all know. So we have to make that happen at some point this season, to link up. Last comment before I get into the show, and I'll put the timer up. You know how I do. The Mad Hatter goes, big up Vader. We disagree about city issues, but respect you because we're still blues at the end of the day. The Mad Hatter. What city issue do you disagree with? We might have that convo. And again, I love when you're dropping comments because you're able to be a part of the show. I don't put your comment on screen just for the sake of it. I put your comment on the screen to be a part of the show. For those tuning in, those listening can hear what you're contributing to the show, and we can have that convo. So Mad Hatter, remind me maybe 1, 2 things that you happen to disagree with. But as you can see, thumbnail, put it out there. And I had to present this image. I had to present this. No denying it. No denying, and it's unavoidable, right? It's part of this first comment up here, right? And if you're tuning in for the first time and you're not familiar, I got what I'm going to run through on this show right there. I got a timer because it's going to keep me on point to devote 5 minutes per topic, right? And I'm a little off to the side because I just want you guys to be able to see the full team. This is an image taken from that rough 4-0 loss, giving us 5 losses on the bounce to Spurs. This is the team right here. But as you can see, Pep giving his instructions, as you can see, we're facing the most difficult Prem fight ever. Not exaggerating. This is the most difficult Prem fight ever. And I'll break down some of the reasons as to why. And if you happen to disagree, you want to point out a different one that may have happened, you're free to. But this one is incredibly difficult. Let me put the timer up. And the Mad Hatter, I see your comment. I'm going to get to it as I go through the show. So let me put this up. Let me do this. And let me also do this so it's nice and clean. Just so we can keep everything on point. Vader game. Now, clock started. I had to, myself in particular, had to take a step back. I had to kind of chill because there's something about when it rains, it pours. There's something about when you're at your lowest, everybody wants to kind of pile on, especially from a rival standpoint. But then there's also some of those fans that maybe are quicker to turn or quicker to not continue the fight, quicker to maybe magnify the questions that they had. And I have nothing wrong. I don't think that there's anything wrong against that. But I also think it's important to recognize in the moment what led up to it, right? There's a lot of people that want to do hindsight reaction. They want to do hindsight conversations like, oh, now that we see that this has happened, you were definitely wrong for doing what you did earlier. That's not the case. Like, you can make the decision. We've seen it in sport many times. We've seen it in life. The information that you're presented with, you're making that decision then and there based off of the info that you have. Now that could change, or you can make that decision then, and then maybe you have an adverse effect to it. Now, what I want to point out is continuous winning is incredibly hard. It isn't easy, as it's stated right there. Continuous winning, if it were easy, we would be seeing it everywhere. If it were easy, we wouldn't be seeing all the other fan bases, all the other clubs, all the other rival fans losing their minds and demanding for standards to be held at their club, right? For those that want to remind you of their history, of their past, we are so-and-so, right? I'm accustomed. I grew up. When I was a fan, my club was doing this. There's a reason why. Shout out to Eric Ten Hag. There's a reason why he said eras come to an end. There's a reason why empires has crumbled. There's a reason why winning isn't easy. And to be continuously at the top requires a tremendous amount of physical demand, mental demand, as well as financial. And I think, I'm not giving an out, I'm not giving an excuse with regards to Manchester City, but I think to stay at that level, to win back-to-back is difficult in itself. You know, listen, I apologize for any, Godfrey, not sure if you're still here, but to any you Arsenal fans.
Max, can you earmuff it for me? We are going to get so...
You got to earmuff it right now, okay? When I remove my hand, it's okay to listen, Arsenal fans. But there's a reason why your greatest Prem manager, Arsene Wenger, wasn't able to win back-to-back. It's not easy. It's not easy to win Prem titles back-to-back, all right? Now you can listen again. I removed my hands. There's also a reason why there's only a few that have been able to do it. There's also only been 2 clubs in the Prem era. 2 clubs in the Prem era. Listen, over 30 plus years, the Prem's been around. No one other than the clubs in Manchester. No club other than the clubs in Manchester have been able to win 3 in a row. And we are the only club to win 4. Continuous winning is extremely difficult. And to be able to spend at the level to sustain it, to be able to keep players, which has been so overlooked with regards to our manager and Pep. It's so overlooked for a manager to keep these players not only motivated to continuously win, but to keep them harmonious. Because every player wants a shot, every player wants minutes, right? Whether you're a young academy player, whether you were brought in on a transfer, whether you're a star, you want to play. So a manager like Pep, to have to keep them at that level year over year over year and to keep everybody happy, it's difficult in itself. And I'm hearing all of these rivals want to tell me, oh, you should have kept so-and-so. Look, had you had them now, you would have been so much better off. There's also, had you kept them, what does that do to the club? What does that do to the locker room? Because there is something that's called poisonous. There is something that, like, corrosive. When you have bad attitude just because, hey, a player wants to play. You, no one's going to be upset with a player wanting to shine, with a player wanting to get time. But that can be just as disruptive, keeping a player that would be good for the club in the event of injury, in the event of dropped form, or in this case, obviously, because players wanted to get their shine. If you didn't watch it, and I know many of the City fans in the chat get this, but those rivals, the City Plus, together 4 in a row, it illustrated a lot. It talked about how behind the board, or the board in particular, sorry, behind the closed doors, they were talking about how it was so incredibly difficult to keep these players wanting to remain when they were like, I didn't get as many minutes as I wanted in this trouble. For my career, I need to move on. But when you're trying to manage that and you've had to let these players go, yes, it all looks like you should have done better. You did the wrong thing. It's easy to crash it. And I don't expect anything other. Rivals are supposed to crash it. Rivals are supposed to, quote unquote, hold every club at the same standard. But that's flawed in its own thinking. You can't really hold every club to the same standard in the moment, because the context is important. If you haven't been winning, right? If you have not been winning, if you've not been delivering with regards to trophies, if you have not been playing at your level, then yeah, you can be like, club, fix up. What the heck's going on here? But when you've been doing it for so many years, you've been doing it consistently, and you're trying to do the impossible, there's a part where you're supposed to step back and be like, okay, we get it. You messed up here. You made a mistake. You realize you should have invested more. Or here you realize that, yes, you let the player go, but in terms of scouting, in terms of realizing who should have come through, maybe that player should have been of better quality in hindsight. But you can't then look at the club and say that they weren't trying. They weren't incentivized, right? They the whole arrogance or poor planning, it gets thrown around so easily. I'm gonna get to the comments, but the continuous winning to stay at this level has been incredibly difficult. And before I actually change over, and I'm going to talk a little bit Champions League. I'm also going to address you in the comments, but it's also, we've seen every club struggle with this. We've seen every club. I don't care what fan you are, I don't care what club you are. Are all of you going to look at your club and say, my club didn't show ambition, that's why we're in this rut, or this is why they didn't continue their winning? The ambition's there, maybe the decision, maybe the planning, maybe the player that came in, for whatever reason, many reasons, didn't work out. I think City leaned on Pep a little too much in this 5-peat, in this attempt at a 5-peat. And if you want to call it arrogance, if you want to call it poor planning, if you want to say they should have envisioned injuries happening like this, and this is why they're in the situation that they're in, sure. But I've seen my club try and get a Rodri backup in Phillips. I've seen my club go out and get young talent in Maximo Peroni. I've seen them go out and get the likes of, or even giving players from the academy level a chance, and for whatever reason aren't quite up to it. But they've shown that they're always looking to improve. They fell short the same way they fell short after winning back-to-back. And I said this on Footy Judge Mo's channel earlier today. Every club's tried to remain winning. Look at Liverpool and their glorious history. From a Prem standpoint, you would say they've fallen short. When they won their first and only Prem title, did they repeat it? No. That's how difficult it is. I spoke about this earlier. Arsene Wenger, he wasn't able to win. He's won, what, 3 Prems? He wasn't able to win them back to back to back. He wasn't even able to win any of them back to back. That's how difficult it is. So when rivals want to ask me, why am I not crashing on my club? Try and understand why. Let me go to the comments, and I'm also gonna move this along because I know I have to keep this on point. My timer is to keep me on topic. So shout out and respect to all of you and your patience. Comments, and I got a few to get to. Mad Hatter, he actually goes. He goes, Pep needs to adapt his tactics to the squad he has, not the one he wants. Fortify defense, back four, lower the back line at a minimum. Given our midfield woes. Okay. So I don't know if you could see this on screen, Mad Hatter. I don't know if you can see this on screen, but this section right here. Pep, accept my calls and emails. Pep, I'm not trolling, Pep. I'm not this crazy fan. Pep, I've watched so many City games. I've watched games we've won and lost for the second time. Because the second time you watch it without emotion, you watch it with more of an analytical mind. You're more dissecting things. And there's a few areas of the pitch that we get in routinely, so consistently, and certain things aren't happening. And I want to discuss that with you. I think I can give you some very good insight on how we can improve. Now, Mad Hatter, as you talk about dropping the back line, I really don't think it's a matter of changing that so much, because I think if we drop the back line more, then we create more of a gap, more of a comfort with regards to the midfield and the opposing team, and then I think we're even more vulnerable for players to be able to get some steam and run down on us, and then to pass it to be pinged over us. But I do think that we need to have the proper amount of, yes, pace and power in the midfield. This is what's crushing us. This is what's killing us right now, right? It's not necessarily skill set. It's not necessarily the tech that's catching us. It's actually pace and power. That is, Timo Werner is a prime example. That last goal was pace and power to the T. On the left wing, resulting on the goal from the right wing. Pace and power. We need to be able to match up with that. Godfrey in the building. Still here. Good. My bad. I had to. So as a rule, if you see the air muff clip, I'm gonna keep my hands here while I'm speaking something. When I remove it, it's good to listen. All right. The girl RK, she goes, HH said Sir Alex Ferguson is a better manager than Pep because he could win the Prem with scrubs. But could he dominate with scrubs? Pep isn't trying to only win. He wants to wipe the floor with all, hence the 100 points. I mean, we know HH with his sometimes well-crafted agendas and not. He can have Sir Alex Ferguson as the better manager. I think the only reason why you could say that is with regards to longevity. But ask HH, what was Sir Alex Ferguson's first 9 years or 8 years? Because Pep's doing his 9th right now. We don't know how this one's going to end out. Ask HH, compare manager to manager, Sir Alex Ferguson's first 8 years at United and Pep's first 8 years at City. And let's hear. I want to hear his rationale with that one. Girl RK goes, as Manchester City put it to a room full of Rick. Wait, as MCFC put it to a full room. I'm not catching that one. The Mad Hatter goes, respect Vader, love Pep, but he has been making some questionable decisions. I think his player personnel is really getting me right now, because I know that he's going with players that he can trust. And let me actually you know what? Let me put a star into this one. And let me see here. Godfrey goes, the blue train will come alive towards the end of the season. You need to win at Anfield to have a chance at completing 5 in a row. Listen, Godfrey, that Liverpool game. I'm trying not to think about Liverpool game right now because it's Tuesday, but that is okay. Godfrey, you see these platinums here? It's gonna be double that. There's gonna be double that in the Liverpool game. I know it. Like from the jump, it's stress. From the jump, it's gonna be stress. I already know it. The girl RK goes, oh lads, courageously put it in the room full of rivals. Yeah. I hear it. Sir Alex Ferguson broke the transfer record. Yeah, he's done that. He's gone and poached The girl RK, he's gone and said, who are my threats? All right, I'm taking your striker over there. Oh, I'm take your midfielder over there. Oh, you know what, Leeds? Let me take your defender. He's taken quality from teams that were threatening him. Very different. HH doesn't want to have that combo with me. He does not want to have that combo with me in terms of Sir Alex Ferguson and Pep. It's only longevity. That's all that it is. And also, HH has that hatred for Pep because of what Pep's done to him. But that's another combo. DC in the building. She goes, big up Vader in the chat. Good looking out, DC. Thank you so very much. Now, let's do this. Let's do this. I got to do the clock. And let's go. This Champions League game. Let me tell you, I will be watching it, but I'm going to be on the move. Okay? I'm going to be on the move. The game's going to start for me, obviously, in the next 50 minutes. It's 3 o'clock my time. 3 o'clock my time. So, still dealing with the workday. I got my other monitor up here, so I'm actually good. I'm able to check a few things. But this game is going to have me moving around, so I'm going to be mobile with it, checking it out. We need a result. We need an all-out win, and we need an all-out win in an interesting way because, and let me try and pull it up, because who we start, everybody in the chat, who we start in this Champions League game is going to be so telling. Because who we start and who we don't start, because who we don't start is going to be important because they're probably the players playing versus Liverpool. They're probably the players playing in Liverpool. Let me see lineups up. We got Grealish. Grealish playing back to back. We got Haaland, of course. Foden, of course. Mateus Nunes, I like that. But does that mean he's not playing versus Liverpool? Gunnigan. And Bernardo in the midfield. We got KDB on the bench, James McAtee on the bench, Savinho on the bench, Nico O'Reilly. Okay. Does that mean KDB is playing Liverpool? Does that mean Savinho is playing Liverpool? From a midfield standpoint, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. We need to handle business early in this game. All right? Champions League must win. Must win because we need to be in that proper standing so we don't need to play any extra games. Look at how players are dropping. We don't want any more extra games. Okay? So let's handle that. The threats. I don't think they're very good, right? Frenoid, I don't think they're very good. But we're probably looking at Carranza. We got Timber, Malimbo. We're handling this game, guys. If we don't, okay. If we don't win this Champions League game, making it 6 losses on the bounce, going into Liverpool with that possibly being 7, everybody just be ready for it. Be prepared for it. Because if we don't win this Champions League game, we're not informed. We're not going to be informed to win versus Anfield. But if we show well, which is good, because again, we play today, Liverpool play on Wednesday. So, quote unquote, we have an extra day's rest. We'll have to see all that. Now, let me also point out. I need Haaland, and I need Foden, and I need Grealish. I need to see some synergy. I need to see them playing for each other, almost anticipating. I need that, and I hate that it's been so consistent. And when I get to the other topics, I'll explain on what I've been seeing and why Pep needs to accept my calls and emails. We have what it takes to. We should not be losing. Sorry for hitting the microphone. We should not be losing 5 on the bounce. Our losses within the Prem, honestly, the Spurs game, I almost accepted that was going to be a loss going into it. I was hopeful that it was going to be a 2-1 for us, but they have been such a troubling and annoying team that I was like, let's be prepared for a loss. A loss is one thing. 4-0, completely different story. That needs to fix. That needs to change. And I'm going to talk about the fix. I'm going to talk about the fix as well as with regards to what we're seeing in terms of the starting 11 for this Champions League game. So let me go ahead and do that because I think that's going to be key with regards to the whole conversation.
Vader game.
Now, when we talk about when we talk about the fix, we have the players for it. I know. No Rodri. I get it. No Rodri. But we still have the players to be able to do this. You know what? Let me move my. 'Cause I'm being covered up by. Okay, all right, that's better. We have the players to still get these results, and when I say results, I mean winning. We have players to be able to get these wins. That's straight. But we're getting ran through, and the players that can help us fix this are within the squad already. We just obviously needed them healthy. I hated looking at the available players for Champions League and still not seeing Doku being available. I don't like when we kind of only have the one option in terms of like Grealish or Doku, right? Savinho or Bernardo Silva or Foden playing out there. I don't like those as the options. I like when we're kind of healthy. We got the chance to maybe change things up. Pep was showing that he had a lot of versatility when we had Doku and Savinho healthy because he was kind of changing them out. Let me say this. That last game shows us that we have the quality to be able to score goals. No one can tell me that we weren't creating enough to win the game. Nobody can say that how we played against Spurs and the attempts that we had from Savinho, from Foden, from Holland would not have resulted in us getting the win. Attacking, I'm not questioning it like that. I know Holland's gonna get his shot on. I know Foden's gonna get more centrally, and that's gonna click in itself. But what I am concerned with is who Pep chooses with regards to the midfield. Who Pep chooses with regards to the defense. If we're healthy, this Champions League, we've got Rico Lewis at right back, we got Akanji, we got Ake, and we got Gavardio. I think as it looks right now, I like that we have Akanji back there because of his pace. Underrated. His quickness is underrated and his anticipation. Ake is the same way. We got Ake and Akanji centrally defensively. I think that can work because Ake and Akanji can deal with anything pace-wise. Now, Rico is where I'm concerned, just in terms of reading it. I hope he's not doing any type of inverted. And Gavardio, I want one of them advancing forward, not both. That spread out wide onto the sides with regards to Rico and Gavardio. I don't want that. I don't need that. I think it invites too many threatening counterattacks because then you're asking for Ake, who didn't look like he's fully fit when he was running last game. And then you got Akanji, who's going to have to try to keep pace. I hope that the deepest player defensively, right, closest to our back line is Nunes as we talk about this midfield. All right, this Nunes, Gundogan, and Silva. If I were to stack this, I would want Nunes closest to our back line. Can he sniff out danger? I don't know. But can he swift the feet, get to some threats? Yes. We need that. I like that Pep's changed that up. And then maybe it's him and in kind of like in partnership with Silva, ball carrying, advancing up to the pitch. And then Gundogan's kind of like more so most advanced amongst those midfielders. And he's in combination with Holland. He's in combination with Grealish and Foden. We need this win. I don't know what kind of other starting 11s were proposed, but I'm not mad at what Pep has here. He's got Ederson playing in the Champions League, which is interesting to me. He's got Ederson playing, and I kind of expected that Ortega might be back there. I thought we might see Ortega, and he's not. So I wonder what the question is, because they normally split that role. In the building, the girl RK goes, I think Silva needs rest. I hope we score 2-3 very early in this game, the girl RK. I hope we score early and we're able to get some subs and some rest. But we need his legs in the midfield. Once Gunnigan's there, and I'm gonna speak to Gunnigan next. Actually, you need him against Liverpool. We do need Bernardo, and that's why I'd be surprised if he plays the full 90. I'd be surprised if he plays more than a first half. We need to just control the game. Girl, okay, I think you would agree. We've got. I didn't mean to move that. What happened there? What happened there? What? Oh, damn it. How do I fix that? There we go. We need to control this game early. We need Silva. We need Nunez covering somewhat for Gunnigan. And we need to just score like first few chances. Boom, clinical. Make them scared and concerned for anything we do. All right, let me move on to the next topic. Vader game. Now, girl, okay, you know how you were talking about Bernardo, right? We need him versus Liverpool. We need Bernardo in this game particular because of the coverage we need for Gunnigan. And just hear me out, okay? This isn't a call out. This isn't a crashing. This isn't a you've been crap, get out of my club. I leave that to rivals to do with regards to their own players. And I'm not going to do any type of revisionist. I'm not going to be a revisionist. I'm not going to do any type of, changing the narrative. When Gunnigan was announced, and even before announced, when it was rumored, right? When they were talking about it, when we were in our Manchester City only Twitter spaces and talking about it, Gundo coming back to the club, I'm all for. I was excited. I still am, because I know what he means for us and what he's done for us. But he can't play 6. He shouldn't play 6. He definitely shouldn't play the sole defensive midfielder. Now, rivals and many of our fans, funny enough, when you think of the Champions League versus Chelsea, all want to crash it on Raheem Sterling. The majority of them wanted to go, what was Pep thinking, forcing Raheem into the squad, not playing a true defensive midfielder in Rodri? Many disagree. Many think that I'm capping. Many think that I'm gaslighting, or whatever they want to call it. But in my opinion, I think Pep really tried to get Gunnigan onto that pitch. Played Gunnigan in the 6. We obviously didn't get the result that we wanted. I'm not putting that loss purely on Gunnigan. It's a team loss. Zinchenko not tracking. The chances that were made or not made, right? But Gunnigan, a lot younger, many years ago, cannot play in that defensive midfield role. Not like that. And it cost us the Champions League, and it's costing us games now. And go back and watch the Spurs game. Do I want to put that on screen? I'm not going to put that on. I'm not going to put that on screen. But go back and watch the goals. It's running past Gundo for 2 of them at least. All right. The James Maddison one, where Gundo's pointing off. He's pointing off Maddison's run to Stones. It's not what he should be doing, right? That's not what he should be doing. And then the last goal, Gunnigan is trying to keep pace in the centrally in the pitch. Yes, of course, Walker doesn't stop the cross over from Werner, but guess who? Guess who runs past to be able to get the tap in? It's legs we need in this midfield. I don't want Gundo at the 6. I want him at my club. Obviously, I love the talent that he has. I know what he means and what he can do for us offensively as well as in control. But without the ball, defensively, it's not for him. They know this. Everybody knows this. We've all done this. If there's a weak link, you attack it. And running pace and power, running through our midfield with Gundogan there, that's part of the target. That's part of the target. Rico Lewis needs to get his strength up. I'm not having all this. He can't play that role. He can't do it. Hey, I know, been a hero for our club in Zabaleta, of course, but he's not much different in terms of stature. He's a lot stronger. He had that man body, that man strength with Rico is developing. He's young. But that's the only thing that's holding him off. It's not because he's slight. It's not because he's undersized. He just needs to get that strength up. Teams are attacking that. Teams are targeting that. So I need to shout out to my man singing the blues. He's in the building. Yeah, Vader, you know what it is. I don't want to see Gunnigan in that 6. I don't. If I see him in kind of like that advanced 8 role, if I see him maybe taking the ball off a young Nico O'Reilly who might play in that 6, okay, I'm cool with that. But that can't just be his role. So, and he was never expected to be to be our 6. Don't let any of these rivals say, "Oh, you guys are all happy when Gundo was coming back." Well, yeah, we were happy for Gundo coming back because we also had Rodri at the time, and we didn't think that Gundo would have to be playing back to back games. We thought he'd be playing more of an advanced 8 role. He'd be able to get in that 18-yard box and deliver us those goals that he did, right? Right? Like that's the Gundogan we expected. That's the Gundogan we expected.
Max, can you earmuff it for me? We are gonna get so.
Earmuff this for the Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans in the chat, earmuff right now. Don't listen while I got my hands on my ears right now. Don't listen to this. But Gundogan, we expected the Gundogan that showed up versus Aston Villa to seal the win. For us to be able to win that season, right? We all remember the cross from a KDB. We all remember the cross from a Raheem Sterling that kicked off that comeback win versus Aston Villa. That's the Gundogan we expected, not a defensive midfielder, not playing that role. No, we expected more of an attacking player and maybe playing every other game or maybe being subbed on as the impact sub. All right, you can listen now, Liverpool fans. That is the Gundogan that we expected. The one that crushed your hearts winning that season versus Aston Villa. Now, let me also do this. Move this. And I see the comments. I'm going to get to it. Start the clock and we do this. Vader game. All right, Pep. Pep, I'm being real. I need you to accept my emails. Whoever is responsible for Pep's social media, whoever is responsible for Pep's information line, let them know that Vader Games TV episode of Why Always Me, I'm reaching out to you. We're at episode 114, by the way, episode 114. 114. The next episode will be 115. It will be epic. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Like, share, let people know about the channel. 115 is going to be an epic Why Always Me. But I want to point out, Pep, I'm seeing patterns in play. I'm seeing opportunities that our players aren't taking that are there. I just want to ask you this question, Pep, and you have your staff, you have the players answer it. And it's more so because I know you're so intricate. I know you're so detailed with how you do an attack. I just asked the question. I need you to pull John Stones, Diaz, Akanji, Ake, Gavardio, Walker. Am I missing anyone? I think call our defense. Call Pusey. Call our defense. Ask them, right? Ask them to a man, What defensively do they not like to do? Whether you're central defenders, what do you not like to do? Right backs, left backs, full backs. What is it that you don't like that teams do in the final third? What makes you antsy? What makes you uncomfortable? What makes you being like, oh, I'm second guessing here. Do I go or do I not? I'm seeing a certain pattern of play that we're not taking advantage of. We're not putting the opposition. Yes, I know we create chances. Yes, I know we put a stranglehold. Yes, I know we suffocate defenses, but there's also like those 50-50 moments. There's also those, should I stay? Should I go? There's also those, I can't put a foot in because if I do, I might be surrendering a penalty. We're missing a pass. And I'm seeing it consistently. I can point it out. I can do the whole sketch it on the screen and show it. Pep, we need to have the combo because we're missing one or two tricks in that final third. I'm not gassing it. Yes, who am I? I'm Humble Vader, right? I'm Humble Vader over at home, got the screen on, watching it, pacing, seeing things. I do that obviously when the game's live, but I also watch the game back. And when I watch the game back, I'm like, that's it. That's it. We're not doing that. We used to. Certain players would take that chance or release that pass. To a man, we need to ask players to do it. Everybody has the ability to, and we're missing it. Pep, accept my calls, please, please, please. Accept my calls. Um, in addition to accepting my calls, just take a look at the emails as well. It's better for me to speak to it, all the details there, but we have so much control. We have defenses that are kind of like wanting to stay in position. I'm seeing so many of our players and point it out. I'm gonna get to the comments. Those of you watch the game. If you only watch the game once, maybe you're not catching it because you're all antsy. You're trying to look for some of those chances. But if you happen to watch the game back, look for the amount of times you see a Rico, you see a Foden, you see a Holland. Look how many times, and I think we're probably going to see it today from a gun again. Hopefully, he's not playing more so the defensive role, but playing in that attacking creative 8, creative 10, however you want to call it. But in that midfield role in attacking positions, look how many times our players point to ball to foot or they point to the lane where they want that pass. Look at it. When those moments come up, please recognize we're not putting these defenses under the amount of stress that they should be in. Make these defenders have to wonder, should they go with the run? The same goes for the occasional overlap. Not every overlap, I get it, because I don't need Walker doing an overlap and then doing something wrong with what he's going to do. He's not playing in the Champions League, so we can all chill and not crash it on Walker. But sometimes make the defender have to follow the run, have to respect it. We look those off way too much. And if it means having the ball in position to be able to release the pass, be better for it. If it just means trusting yourself to release the pass, do it. We need it. We need it. Pep, accept my calls, please. Please, we're missing it. And go back and watch these games. If our players are asking balls to foot, if our players are looking to run into that 18-yard box with a pass or just a weighted pass to go in on the run, please make it happen. Please. All right. Last but definitely not least combo for today with regards to why always me. Let's make it happen. Oh yeah, let me get to these comments. My bad.
Vader game.
Large up everybody in the building. I got Kim saying big up Vader watching the show now. Much love. Thank you so very much. Thank you for being a part of it. I'm actually on the last topic. This is why always me. And I had my DMs open. So apologies if I didn't get the notification because I was gonna send the link out for my peeps. Good looking out, my man Pablo shared it with his people. Appreciate that. Some of the likes and and retweets, always appreciate it. Thank you for doing so. For those of you following me on Twitter, thank you very much. My man, my should I say my man? You know what? I'm cool with Solomon, even though he does me dirty on American Waffle. Solomon in the building. He goes, big up, Vader. Yo, large up. Thank you so very much. We're having the combo right now. I talked about all these earlier in the show. How continuous winning is difficult. This Champions League game must win. Oh my gosh, so many must wins coming up. The fix being with the current players, not necessarily having to go out in the January transfer window, because we need the fix now. We need the fix way before then. Gundogan in that 6 cannot happen anymore. It cannot. It cannot. Doesn't have the legs for it, and he's not recognizing the dangers quick enough. So I don't want to see that. And I also pleaded, Pep, accept my emails and calls, Pep. Listen. I know it's esport, but I played in the IEGA. I was one of the top guys in that league. I also, just the way I look at sports, I look at things. I look at things offensively and defensively, and I got a few things that I think can really help Pep. I got a few things. Solomon in the building. He goes, haha, all love. Don't worry. I got TJ on the next show. Respect. Thank you so much, man. Deal the damages evenly. I like that. Solomon. I respect that. And thanks for being on the show. Now, this Liverpool are great. Liverpool are great when City are at its weakest. When City are weakest, when City are like down and out, when City are fumbling, when City are tripping up, that's when Liverpool seem to be unstoppable. And I'm seeing a pattern again. I'm seeing us early under Pep's run when he was able to win back-to-back. I'm seeing when Pep won back-to-back and he was trying to do the three-peat and just fell short. And us falling short, was it a combination of maybe not changing the tactics quick enough? Was it a combination of the club not investing well enough? And again, that's been a case. That's been a case where the club hasn't invested right after winning the Prem, even under Mancini, not investing right after winning the Prem after Pellegrini. Actually, Mancini, nah, I don't think we could really say we didn't invest well enough after repeating. I think we had a good enough squad to do it. But there's a lot to be said with how we invested after winning this 4P. And we have fumbled. The injuries unpredictable, right? You cannot foresee, you cannot over invest to have, no disrespect, Solomon, but we can't have a squad like a Chelsea in terms of the great number of talent that's acquired externally. Okay? It's not a slight, but the club's chosen to keep players and obviously have those that are going to keep the squad at its number based off of academy players, which obviously they have the quality at the academy level. Whether they have that at the first team level, it's obviously hasn't proven to be because they're not starting regularly, and we are looking so vulnerable again after winning a title that I think the hunger that Liverpool has, they can run away with this. This is all bonus. First year manager, players playing for a contract. FSG has kind of put this perfect storm together where these players have to deliver, where these players actually have no pressure to deliver because no one put any expectations on them with a first year manager. No one put any expectations on them with only investing in one player. This is like a perfect storm. FSG have crafted such an environment where Liverpool got a free hit. Liverpool can go out and just do what you got to do. You win games, bonus. You win a lot of games, bonus first year manager. It comes to a point where you kind of can bide your time because no one can win all the time. And I spoke earlier in episode with regards to continuous winning. You know someone can't win all the time, so you got to be ready to win when they can't. And obviously, Liverpool have done that. They've mastered that because they did it a couple seasons ago when we fumbled after winning back to back. Now they're ready and prime again. Arsenal are going to be very disappointed if they're not able to make this a title challenge with them involved in it. But Liverpool, they know how to catch City at their weakest. They know how to catch these titles when there's no one else, when it's just them. So we'll see what this game nets out to be. Obviously, I want to do another episode this week. I'm going to meet up with the crew, hopefully with CIA Intelligent Agendas. We're going to talk. We're going to talk more so about this Liverpool upcoming game. We're going to dissect it, get into it heavily. Let me go to the comments. Let me see. Solomon goes to say, Liverpool are 2 injuries away from disaster. Yeah, but if those 2 injuries don't happen, they're cruising. They're coasting. They're living la vida loca. Is that how you say it? Living la vida loca. They're going to be chill. These 2 injuries that could happen, again, I think their style of play saves them tremendously. Slot doesn't get enough credit for that. And again, when we talk about this game, we're currently 8 points behind Liverpool. We're 8 points behind. Yes, it's easy for the narrative to be 8 points behind a first-year manager, but we're 8 points behind Prem winners, Champions League winners, and many of those players have already won trophies with regards to the League Cup. We're behind that type of club, already at 8 points. If it ends up being 11, I think we are going to have to do the impossible. Winning 5 in a row was already the impossible because no one's ever done that. Winning 11 points back, yikes, that will be the impossible again. Danny in the building, he goes, yo, Vader, how you been? I've been all right. Listen, it's been difficult. Obviously, these losses, I make sure not to emotional eat. Some people emotional eat when they're upset. For me, when I get upset, I need to get fresh air. I need to be active. So what doesn't show up right now is actually where my studio is, just over to the side. I've got my like free weights and stuff like that. So if I need to get like level set, I work out, go for a run, go for a walk. You know what I mean? I just you got to get that fresh air. You got to get that vitamin. You got to get that sunlight on you. You know what I'm saying? Solomon goes, you think Salah comments shake up their title chart? Nah. See, the thing is, Mo's always slick with how he speaks. He's talked about revenge games. He's talked about, winning titles and things like that nature. And also when he talks with regards to contracts, I don't think that's going to do anything with regards to their title hopes. It's no surprise. Players know, hey, you get any further with the contracts, it's an easier yes or no with regards to players in the locker room. I don't think that's going to change anything. I think what it does do, though, and here's the funny thing that doesn't get talked about enough. All right, Solomon? Contracts or negotiations, there's always two. There's two to the table. There's me knowing what I want and calculating and assuming what you want. You're doing the same thing. You obviously have your goals on what you want, and you're anticipating and you're calculating what you think my goals are. So the funny thing is, and you know what, I should break this down on a CIA, but when we talk contracts, Mo wants to remain in the Prem. Mo wants to do that. Obviously, I think it's been spoke about. I think it's been talked about in terms of the numbers that he's chasing. Right. Same thing happened with kind of Harry Kane. That's leverage for FSG. We know what you want to not only do at this club, but we already know what you want to do in the Prem. That's leverage. Now they also know that he wants a certain salary. The information that they have is, and this is where some of the fans, Liverpool fans in particular, they say one thing when it comes to rivals and they want to say another thing when it comes to them. Everywhere I go, I keep hearing, leave football before football leaves you. FSG model that to the T. They'd rather have a player go a year early than a year late. Mo is having a phenomenal season. Is it a season worthy of 3-4 years? I think that takes FSG to the we're going to hold on to you a year longer than we should rather than a year earlier than we should. And that's leverage again. That's leverage again. Now, before there was Mo, there wasn't Mo, right? So I think they kind of see that they can get the next player at that level the same way they were able to have certain stars at that club. And obviously we know clubs remain, players go. I happen to think that the players will continue to play to the level. Those playing for contracts will play for their level. Mo and his comments is going to get dealt with like it did a couple seasons ago. Was it like 3 seasons where I think the contract securing Mo for the contract that he ended up getting the same summer where I think Mane left. Yeah, this might get decided. This might get decided when the season's over, and I know he could leave on a free, but you know what's out there, and you're better suited to match. I think FSG is just playing a game of chicken, and they're playing a game of chicken with all the other players. If you really want to be here, then we'll look to match the deal, and move that way. Solomon goes on to say, but Salah should invaluable to Liverpool right now. He is still performing to the best of his prime years. He is, yes, but if the deal was just for 1 year, it's 1 year. The deal's going to be longer than that, and FSG have to think about Mo's potential decline. FSG have to think about what Mo could get elsewhere. And if what Mo could get elsewhere is only available, hear me out, if is only available if he goes Saudi, then I think FSG take their chances. If Mo could go and remain in the Prem, then I think they kind of match the deal. I think they kind of say, okay, let's find the best compromise for you to remain here. That's my thought. That's my thinking. I could be wrong. Solomon goes, there is always a way to structure a contract to give him what he wants in bonuses to ensure he only gets those numbers if he plays 35 games scoring. It's true, but Solomon, here's the thing. Veteran players, older players, they don't want I've got to perform to get it. They want the KDBs, the Kai Havertz, the players of that level. If they're already getting that deal, I want that. Players want the guaranteed money. They don't want I've got to show out to get this. Would these players have it as their base salary? That's the challenge. That is the challenge. Solomon, the fact there is no contract on the table. See, I'd be careful with all that. I'd be careful with all that contract. Maybe there isn't a contract on the table, but the parameters in terms of base bonuses, things kind of being discussed, that gets floated around all the time. That gets floated around. The public winning public votes, winning the public narrative. Yeah, it'd be interesting. FSG, they're too savvy. Maybe it's not a official formal contract, but they've been going back and forth with regards to workable numbers, and that's for all 3 players, Van Dijk and Trent. Danny, Liverpool weren't that great versus Southampton. I think we could do a shock and get the 3 points at Anfield. Danny, we'd have to do something with a quote unquote weaker team right now, a team not in form, when we were to get a result that we weren't able to do with our teams in the past that were in better form and had Rodri. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, but we're gonna do a preview. We're gonna do a proper preview. Danny, Solomon, Godfrey, my girl RK, DC in the building, Mad Hatter, good looking out. Hassan was in the building as well. Listen, this was episode 114 of Why Always Me. I tried to stay on topic. I tried to discuss all this. I do need to do another 115, one topic, 15 minutes, as well as a CIA Intelligent Agendas. if I'm able to, and maybe it's a matter of, and I don't know if this works. It might be a case where I might say, listen, guys, for a week's time, I'm gonna carve out 1 hour. Boom. Same day, same time consistently. Boom, 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 boom. I'll get my shows out. If the reception's there, if the interaction's there, if the conversations are there, cool. I'm gonna do it, continue to do it. And then obviously do my occasional features on other shows. But you guys let me know how I continue going based off the comments. Some of you live, some of you post, as well as some of the DMs, which I appreciate. Some for whatever reason you guys don't choose to want to message on the platform, but you want to give me the feedback through the DMs, and you've been incredibly supportive. So thank you for that. But yeah, you guys really like the Why Always Me. You guys have enjoyed the CIA, and you've enjoyed the 115 one question 15 minutes. So I'm gonna do my part to give that back to you guys 100%. Thank you all so very much. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like the button. I think. Oh, you know what? Let me do this just so I'm accurate. I am currently at 724. 724. If you happen to be new, if you look, shoot, I'm not even subscribed to Vader. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the channel in particular, and don't miss out. I do my part, even if you have to come to the show late or you come to my channel late. If it says newest, trust me, that's the newest version of the show. Check it out. When I post a show after that one, I'll change the newest to new, and the current show that just dropped that day or shortly after as newest. So you can always keep track on what to tune in for and check. But love to each and every one of you. I'm gonna hit you up with an outro. My man Solomon goes big up. Great chopping it up. Listen, always, man, and it's always calm. I know the love's there with regards to the sending me to the cell, as funny as that is. But you catch me next week on American Waffle. The conversation might be intense because it'll be post Champions League, post Liverpool. So that'll be a hot one. Well, good looking out, Solomon, and everybody else in the chat. Enjoy this outro. Let me know if you got any feedback with regards to it. But love as always. Thank you.